RSG is going to be moving on forward with a Novaria pick and a Fredrin. So the Terizla, in fact, it is not flags. It is going to be going over to the side of Closer, and for Novaria it's going to be played by Godzilla and Bray onto the Fredrin. So crowd control wise, yeah, they never got it because Fredrin himself is is chock full of crowd control. I'm not particularly too afraid of that. When it comes to the wave clear, they've got that. When it comes down to high ground, they have that for Novaria as well. In fact, a very good answer to the pick of Farsa from the side of NIP Flash.
Yeah, because Farsa is going to be it's going to be stationary when she uses Feather Airstrike, right? So I think the Novaria's comments is going to be able to hit her mark pretty darn easily. But now question is, how is NIP Flash going to round up their lineup?
There we go.
And true enough, as mentioned before, Lapu rounding it up. Honestly speaking, their lineup looking very similar to how Game 1 went, with the exception of the Natan going over to RSG SG, as well as the Fanny instead of the Nolan.
If it ain't broke, why fix it?
Exactly, and honestly speaking, I would argue that this lineup is almost better, right? I mean, with Fanny has just so much more mobility than Nolan, and she's able to just go across the map and invade and get out of there faster than what Nolan can do. Honestly speaking, terrifying lineup to play against.
Now, the only other thing that kind of gets me is the fact that NIP Flash did pick up the Fanny on top of the Grok. So I'm not too sure whether how are they going to be playing around the Guardian's barrier that is that will be erected by the Grok. But I'm of course super stoked to see how our friend here, Hades, is going to be piloting this Fanny.
Upper bracket finals, game 2, RSG down 1-0-1 going into this one. We're going to have NIP Flash going into this. Do you like which draft do you like better?
I kind of still like Team Flash's lineup still.
Okay.
I still kind of like Team Flash's lineup. It's pretty simple, pretty easy to work around with. But in the meantime, RSG, sure, they do have quite a lot of problems that is filled up already. In fact, it's a pretty balanced draft. However, one of the main damage dealer is a sniping hero. It's all about skill shot, being Godzilla. So this game's outcome is also very heavily dependent on whether Godzilla hits his Star Shatter.
Okay, you say that it's a simple lineup. Are you saying that NIP Flash are not smart enough to play a more complex lineup? Such abstract?
Nope.
They can find you online at such abstract.
Well, I mean, technically, yeah. I think they're simple-minded.
Come at it.
I think they're simple-minded. All right. If anyone finds anything wrong with me, look at me at Holler TV.
At Holler TV, remember that if you want to pick a fight together with Abstract or Holler, I guess, in that instance. But going into the game, guys, Hades already hitting level 4, trying to get assassination on the Closer, heals half of his HP. Nothing to scoff at, really, to be honest. Bray also hitting level 4, so this first total fight is going to be pretty balanced, I think, for the sides of both teams.
They are, both teams, I would say that they're definitely going to be on a stalemate. I don't see how RSG may have too much difficulty dealing in the mid stages of the game. They have a tanky frontline coming from Dairy and Bray, and if perhaps even closer, they have the damage coming from CS and Godzilla. The only time that they actually would have a problem is that Godzilla's not hitting his shots. And it's kind of difficult for Godzilla to not hit his shot, because we have Lawsy on the opposite side, a very slow hero. We have Farsa, whenever he pops with the Feathered Airstrike, is quite literally stationary. And Hades, yeah, you Dream on landing a shot onto Hades. So Closer have got a very big play.
He's gonna have to land. The Feathered Airstrike right onto Bray, and he's gonna give up first blood, and Diablo will take that, and he'll be like, "Thank you, ex-teammate. I will take that."
Honestly speaking, like, this was not a fight that RSG SG should have taken. Like, the team was not together, if you notice, right? Like, actually, Davey was at the opponent's side of the jungle, was nowhere near there to contest for the turtle. And honestly, like, Terizla, Closer and Godzilla weren't also super close. It was just Bray against the world, and it just feels like kills are once again being handed over to the side of NIP Flash.
On hindsight, yeah, that wasn't a very good challenge. However, I still applaud them for trying it out, because this composition actually allows them to do so. But in the meantime, in the middle lane, Godzilla finds himself completely picked off by both Longzy as well as Katisi.
Lalzi's been on point, and look at this, how much damage Derry's taken. Hades doing most of it, but it looks like they're going to back off. But Lalzi on this Tigreal has just been on point. Do you actually have to ban this against NIP Flash?
I don't think that. I don't think the Tigreal is the problem though. It's just the way the NIP Flash is playing. And of course, with RSG's lineup, it will definitely take some time for them to really go online to put some pressure onto Lalzi as well.
Yeah, not to mention, right, Lalzi is 1 times beefy boy, right? So honestly speaking, even look, they've got 4 or 5 people on him, and he's still like walking away. Yes, he finally falls, but it took a while.
Yeah,
it took a while before he died.
It took 3 of their teammates to get him, RSG that is. But now Diablo continuing to fight. He does have it. He's doing a lot of damage on a Bray, who Brave assaults back to safety.
It all boils down to the wet noodle fight when it comes down to all of these heroes combined. If Hades is not in the fight, or Katrisi is not in the fight, yeah, it's all wet noodle.
Wet noodle fight, I love that. But you know, Lapu Lapu was not really slapping of a wet noodle, right? He can use his bravest...
Okay, pool noodle. That's a pool noodle from Lapu Lapu. You can't convince me otherwise.
I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. Honestly speaking, this game is looking like NIP Flash is in the driver's seat once again. 1.8k gold lead up towards the side of NIP Flash. Gold is pretty evenly spread across all across the whole team. Rather, nothing, no significant advantage over their counterparts in RSG SG. We do see Natan building up his first item though.
I do believe that there is still a lot of opportunity for RSG to come into this game, but I will always keep my eye on to closer. You gotta have to land the right penalty zone, because at this point, you kinda have to consider, do you want to go for the penalty zone onto Katrisi, or do you want to ground this bird? Because Fanny is pretty darn annoying, but do you have anyone that can really deal with Fanny aside from yourself?
Ooh. We have a kill happening at the top side. I think Katrisi as well as Vanix is just dual killed CS there. So the gold that's evenly spread is not going to be so even after all.
Well, the charge forward, the knock up onto Derry, who's taking a lot of damage, but they're going to back off here. Now, okay, one thing I like about RSG is that they're focusing more on that turtle. Obviously, you left CS wide open in the top lane, and he was vulnerable to getting ganked, and he did. But it's a situation where RSG have made some changes in their playbook, so to speak.
Yeah, made some changes, but the thing is that they're still not grouping up fast enough.
They do Feathered Airstrike right on top. The charge back pushes Bray away, and they're doing a lot of damage. The 2-man knockup, Lalzi, closer first to fall. Pertizi will take credit for this. Lalzi will fall in return, but Derry now a little bit low. Hades gonna back off. He's gonna recharge that energy.
Hades wasn't exactly very present in that previous team fight. Maybe had a little bit of a mishap here and there, but NIP Flash could use a lot more of his damage. To be fair, his items probably not quite there just yet. The only thing that he has is a single blade of the Haptoses, so we would expect a lot more assassination attempts rather than proper team fights coming from NIP Flash. It will still take some time, especially also we are looking at Vanix that's playing as a clone. We gotta have to wait a long time before Vanix is coming in with proper damage. Katrisi, understandably, will be the main damage dealer here. So RSG, all they gotta have to look out for is to go for the penalty zone on the Katrisi and really ground this other bird.
Oh, Derry being focused. He's been within 5. Hades will take credit for this. Bray now, he's gonna be energy erupting the Diablo, but the knockup onto Godzilla, the penalty zone now being committed, but it looks might be a little too late. Bray does get the Appraiser's Wrath, and he does get a double kill, but he does fall. Closer now on the run. Diablo's gonna chase him out. Cortese, I don't think they're going to commit for this one, but 3 members still surviving from NIP Flash.
This is hands down a pick-off comp coming in from the side of NIP Flash. They pick off one, and then Lalzi just like, you know what? I'm going to flicker out this one random Godzilla. Why? Because I can. And they went for it.
Diablo flicker back. Cortese will take the credit for the turtle, though, so that's a win. But Vanix now images back to safety. They do have the Echo if they want to go. The wild charge is going to be committed, but now Derry trying to find him, but it looks like Cortese and Vanix are going to back off.
Honestly speaking, the previous fight was going to be absolutely disastrous for the side of RSG SG. Thankfully, Bray manages to pick up 2 with the Appraiser's Wrath, right? And if he didn't do that, oh wow.
Last-ditch effort though, damn!
Yeah, like really props to Bray for being able to pick those last 2 kills up. But once again, RSG SG looking completely disjointed. They were spread across the bottom half of the map. Yes, they were starting to group together, but they got picked on before they could group as 5, and that is the problem that they're facing right now. If they do not group up once again, and they take another fight like this game is close to unwinnable.
They're going to slowly take their time to really settle into this game, right? They are about 5,000 gold behind of NIP Flash, and when it comes down to items, they can't really go for fights. But in the meantime, we do have the feathered airstrike that somehow managed to hit quite a lot on the Godzilla, and I believe that is all about the lethal ignition that burned him out.
Oh, they've got the knockoff, the 2-man. What they want, they got Derry. They're going to take him out. Vanix joins the fray. He's got his blazing duet, and he's going to flex, but he's taking a lot of damage. But Hades on the backside cuts him off. All members still up, 4 members down from RSG.
There's no answer. There's no answer to Katizi at this point in time. I think the closer is not exactly actively going in and jumping onto Katizi. They're gonna have to find the right opportunity to do so. And maybe they just haven't seen that opportunity just yet.
Look how much damage. Closer's already half life with that feathered airstrike.
And only 2 hit, by the way, right? Yeah. So honestly speaking, like I said, this RSG is not grouping up. They keep getting picked off one by one. Godzilla had no business there, and he got instantly eliminated right from the fight. So realistically speaking, RSG right now, what do they have to do, boys, to survive to the later stage of this game?
It's kind of tough to say this, but it's back again at the level 15 game. Because in the early stages, when it comes down to the early and the mid stages of the game, they can definitely still pick up a pretty darn good fight as long as they focus onto Katizi. They had the Terizla to really answer to this this dub, but now they don't really have an answer to that because
Godzilla
of the
picked
blood
off
wings.
again.
Guys,
time again.
I'm honestly speechless, right? Like we saw Lawsy, I'm not sure if you guys saw the interaction just now, but Lawsy was approaching the bottom tier 2 turret. Closer was near the turret, and Closer had no choice but to flicker out.
Oh, they're going to go for this massive stun. Tigreal goes in for this one, but Bray taking a lot of damage. He gets back to safety. Vanix is going to somehow survive. Lalzi, he's so low. He's on the run, and I don't think they have a follow-up as Diablo has joined the fray. But this T3 now, they do have Echo. They do spot him out if they want to go, but I don't think this is going to be a full commitment. Hades gets the tower. Now going to focus on the T3. Bray trying to get something. The energy eruption onto Cortese. He's focusing him in. The Appraiser's Wrath shuts him down. That's one way of doing it. And CS does get Vanix as well. So that's a good win for RSG.
Okay, the answer that we needed. At least for the side of RSG.
They just need to do that 5 more times and they're good, man.
They just need to defend. Time and time again. Just keep on defending.
Y'all make it sound as if it's so easy, man. Y'all make it sound like it's so easy. I mean, they barely survived doing that. And by the way, right, they didn't have 5 members of NIP Flash there. They had like 4.
Yeah.
And they barely survived that fight.
Yep.
All right, I mean, look, I'm playing devil's advocate here, right? It's extremely hard for RSG SG to come back into this. Yes, if they hit level 15 where gold doesn't make that much of a difference, they may be able to pull something out of their pocket. But look at the HPs of the tier 3 turrets right now. It's very, very low. One more Lord should be able to shove the turret down.
Oh, that was foresight coming in from Dairy. Expecting that there is going to be Katizi inside or someone that is inside the brush, but unfortunately doesn't have the flicker. If you had a flicker, that's probably going to be a dead Katizi anyway.
Look at Hades. Just being so annoying.
Oh, but he's being focused. He actually might be killed.
He's okay.
Oh,
he's
Steel
okay.
Cables gets out of there.
He's perfectly fine.
Oh, Derry, though, not as lucky. Diablo takes him out. They've got the knock-up on a Bray as well. So, you know, 2 for nothing. I mean, they might have gotten Hades.
They almost got Hades, but unfortunately they didn't. So we'll focus on what they managed to and what they didn't manage to. So we have got about 25 seconds left until the Lord eventually spawns. The middle lane is going to be crashing in soon. Bottom lane is going to be synced up as well. And for the side of RSG, they don't have Bray, they don't have Dairy. So they're going to have to force the issue here.
Oh, Hades is now here, but Diablo's the first to fall. Hades gets sniped out as well. And, okay, I said there was, what, 5 more times? It looked like 4 more times now.
There's only one person, my man. There's only 2 people, my man. I mean, it's not exactly a recap of what happened just now.
Okay, but this is an opening. They technically have numbers. They have the 2-man advantage, plus the fact that the Lord is here. But Derry getting a little bit low. They do need to be careful where Cortese and Vanix are at all times.
Bray
Gets in, the energy eruption, the wild charge, the feathered airstrike, but Bray's the first to fall. Lalzi's at half-life, CS getting so low. Oh, the pullback by Lalzi. He's got him charged, but he charges him the wrong way. Lalzi trying to get the snipe onto the CS, not able to do the damage. That's the roaming life, but Vanix a little bit low. He's been echoed, so he doesn't need to be careful here.
At this point in time, I kind of feel like there must be some kind of negotiations between Close's inner thoughts, right? Do I reserve my penalty zone for Katizi, or do I actually try to reserve my penalty zone for Hades? Is this an either or? What's the right answer here?
I do not want to go in the minds of Closer right now. I think that it's too dark, it's too scary. I can't do that right now.
You forgot to bring a flashlight with you.
But Diablo will take credit for the Lord here. Derry just spots it out. He's going to run back, but he's going to get focused in by Vanix, who images back. Lets Derry live.
Honestly speaking, I think he just didn't want to push that far forward. There's no reason for him to kill Derry at this point in time. And honestly speaking, if Claude is doing that much damage to your tank, I'm terrified of what he can do to the rest of his teammates. I mean, look, Brave just got insta-gift just now, right at the Lord. So things aren't looking too hot for the side of RSG SG.
Look at Lalzi and Derry. They're like running around hand in hand. This is Romeo and Juliet. Are they going to be lovers? I don't know. But Hades is going to be killed. He was trying to go all the way deep. The base is wide open. The feathered airstrike is right on top of him. They do end up killing Bray as well as Closer. The base is being wide open. They do take game 2. NIP Flash with another victory.
NIP Flash with a 2-0 start, guys. Hey, look, you know, the reverse sweep can still happen, right? I mean, it's still possible.
It is definitely still possible. But RSG, their draft and composition needs to answer this one question. How to deal with the Fasa? Because after this game, after the game number 2,